When you look back on the Trump administration, several things probably come to mind. But its zero-tolerance family separation policy provokes a fairly specific, indelible image. Hundreds of children, some as young as infants, in large metal cages with only foil sheets for blankets after being taken from their parents. The administration's rationale was that by intentionally breaking these families apart, it would discourage people from attempting to cross the southern border. Those images led to outrage both here and abroad, and intense political backlash forced the Trump administration to rescind that policy just a few months after it was formally enacted. After a federal judge ordered the government to reunite the families, we learned that about 5,500 children were taken from their parents. And that reunification process has been a disaster. Some separations have lasted weeks, some of them have lasted years, and to this day, there are still children who remain unaccounted for. But we learned this week, thanks to a New York Times report which cites lawyers and advocates working with the government to reunite some families, we learned that as many as 1,000 of those children who were separated from their parents are United States citizens. Unlike foreign-born children who were taken to federal shelters and entered into federal databases, many of these U.S.-born children were placed in state foster care systems, and it was left up to state family courts to decide how to handle the cases, which has in turn led to a patchwork of records that the government is now trying to sift through to find these kids. One immigration advocate told The Times that while she knows of 226 American children sent to Child Protective Services in California, records for children sent to foster care in Arizona and New Mexico and Texas do not exist. So U.S. citizens, children, essentially lost by their own government at the direction of their own government. The ACLU has an ongoing class action lawsuit seeking damages for the trauma these families have endured as a result of the Trump-era policy. The lawyer leading that case says immigration advocates have since asked that U.S.-born children that we're now just finding out about, that they be included. Now, this is all coming as the Biden administration plans to rescind another Trump-era immigration policy next month. That policy, which is called Title 42, has allowed border agents to turn away migrants ostensibly to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The appalling consequences of the Trump administration's action on immigration are something the current administration must or should grapple with, as it reportedly considers bringing back family detentions to combat a possible uptick in the number of asylum seekers arriving at the southern border once Title 42 winds down.